Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White addressed media questions regarding the team's current situation in the standings. The way that the scheduling is and how much they have to play and heavy minutes and all that. So they're used to this. But, for us, it's we've got to try to use our depth to our advantage and try to stay fresh and, give them different looks on the defensive end of the floor. They can hopefully make it difficult and make them work that much harder after coming off of a double overtime game. Regarding their upcoming matchup against Seattle, White highlighted the team's depth as a key advantage they plan to exploit. The strategy involves rotating multiple substitutes to potentially exhaust their opponents who recently completed a double overtime battle just 40 hours prior. White acknowledged that WNBA veterans are accustomed to demanding schedules and heavy playing time, but the Fever intends to leverage their bench strength to maintain freshness and present various defensive schemes that could complicate Seattle's offensive execution. When questioned about the team's success during Caitlin Clark's absence, White praised the roster's character and chemistry. She described the players as selfless individuals who prioritize team success over individual achievements and consistently support one another. They're team first, they pull for one another, they're selfless, and they're capable. And, when you have that, they've been resilient all year long and they rally together. They're a connected group, and I think that that's really important. And we have capable players, we certainly play a little differently without Caitlin on the floor. But the confidence that each one of these women has gotten, their resilience throughout the season stems from being a connected unit with capable talent across the roster. The coaching staff has adjusted their approach without Clark on the court, but White expressed confidence in each player's ability to make crucial plays during important moments. The team's depth prevents opponents from focusing on just one or two key players, as multiple teammates can step up and deliver impactful performances. This balance has improved their offensive distribution while their defensive versatility has proven valuable. White identified two primary factors behind their recent consistent performance during a 4-game winning streak. Caitlin on the floor, but the confidence that each one of these women has gotten, in the ability to make plays in big moments, the depth that we have, so that you really never can key on one or two players. We've got multiple players that can step up and have big games for us. I think it makes us more balanced on the offensive end, and the versatility that we have defensively, has been big for us. And so, I think this group's been resilient. They've come together, they're playing really well together and they play for each other, and you really can't discount how important that is when you're playing for the person beside you. First, their defensive disruption and attention to detail create difficulties for opposing teams. Even when experiencing offensive struggles or high turnovers, their ability to generate stops keeps them competitive, as defensive performance remains reliable regardless of venue. Second, their ball movement and high assist rates have been instrumental. The team effectively executes secondary and tertiary offensive actions, ensuring the basketball finds the optimal scoring opportunity. They've emphasized keeping defenses working through continuous ball movement and avoiding stagnant possessions, which has led to improved connectivity on both ends of the court. I think a couple things, right? I don't know that I feel like we've been consistent, but, being able to consistently string wins together, I think defensively, when we're destructive, when our attention to detail is high, we make things difficult for opponents. And in those moments where we, like last game, perfect example, have discussing their previous encounter with Seattle when Clark was available, White noted that Seattle presents a formidable challenge requiring precise attention to personnel details. Their strategy involves preventing Seattle's players from reaching comfortable positions and forcing difficult shot attempts. Seattle's strong defensive capabilities demand patience from Indiana, along with careful offensive execution that avoids excessive penetration while ensuring precise, timely passing to counter Seattle's length and athleticism. Regarding Clark's recovery progress, White provided cautious optimism while emphasizing a methodical approach. Clark participated in practice activities and her rehabilitation is progressing favorably. However, the organization remains committed to following each recovery step carefully to avoid setbacks. White stressed the importance of patience, acknowledging Clark's eagerness to return and the team's desire to have her back, but prioritizing her complete readiness above all else. The timeline remains uncertain as they continue taking the process one day at a time. White also praised Arian McDonald's recent contributions to the team. McDonald's dedication to studying and understanding the offensive system allowed her to integrate quickly and earn trust with ball handling responsibility. Her unique speed and downhill attacking ability filled a specific need the roster previously lacked. Additionally, McDonald provides another playmaking option, reducing the sole reliance on Kelsey Mitchell for creating opportunities. Her defensive intensity and tone-setting abilities have aligned perfectly with the team's desired playing style on both ends. The press conference revealed interesting insights about the team's trajectory and future outlook. Speculation suggests Clark could potentially return within 2 to 3 weeks. Though this remains to be confirmed. They're a really solid defensive team. I mean, they're high level on the defensive end of the floor, so we've got to be patient. We've got to make sure that we understand, what we're looking for on the offensive end of the floor. We can't over-penetrate. We've got to allow the ball, again, to find the right shot. But our passes have to be on time, on target, because they make you pay if they don't. They've got great length. They've got great athleticism. And they come at you from a lot of different angles, so we've got to do a good job of making sure that our attention to detail on both ends is there. The Fever's ability to maintain competitiveness and string together victories during this challenging period has surprised many observers who question their capacity to recover this season. Analysis suggests that coaching changes may have contributed to the team's improved performance, with some viewing previous leadership as potentially limiting the roster's potential. The departure of former coaching staff appears to have coincided with enhanced team chemistry and execution. However, current performance has been inconsistent across all players. Kelsey Mitchell's recent shooting struggles were particularly notable, going scoreless from three-point range in their latest outing. Kelsey Mitchell's going to be protected because she can be cored, even though she's unrestricted. You don't want to give up a player that the other team is going to core. Caitlin Clark, Leah Boston, Michaela Timpson, and Natasha Howard is exempt because she's been cored twice. So she's exempt from being taken, and the reality is that a lot of people were saying is really between Sophie and Ari for our last spot. And with that being said, in my opinion, you've got, despite individual challenges, other players like Sophie Cunningham have stepped up with crucial contributions. The ball distribution to hot hands remains an area for improvement. The team's resilience and adaptability during Clark's absence has demonstrated their depth and character. Moving forward, the combination of improved coaching, strong team chemistry, and the eventual return of their star player positions the Fever as a potential factor in the league's competitive landscape. Their ability to maintain performance levels without their primary offensive weapon suggests a well-rounded roster capable of competing at high levels regardless of personnel availability. The Indiana Fever must prioritize retaining Sophie Cunningham during the upcoming expansion draft. There are absolutely no scenarios where leaving her unprotected would benefit the franchise. Her return to the roster appears highly likely for the following season. When examining the expansion draft dynamics, historical patterns show that teams typically sign only one unrestricted free agent, as evidenced by last year's signing of Mo Billings, who wasn't commanding significant contracts elsewhere. The Fever can protect 6 players, and certain selections are obvious. Lexi Hull requires protection as a restricted free agent, since losing her without protection offers no guarantee of re-signing. Kelsey Mitchell needs protection despite unrestricted status, as other teams might core her to be back. And whether or not it is even protecting, the Fever need to keep Sophie Cunningham at all costs. The Fever need to keep Lexi Hull at all costs. And the Fever, ideally, you keep Harry McDonald, but like Harry McDonald is just Erica Wheeler 2.0. You can live without Ari McDonald, especially if you plan on Caitlin being healthy. If you don't, if you think Caitlin's going to be this injury-prone mess for the rest of her career, like this season, which, look, it's unlikely, but Fever know more than we do if that's what they believe. Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Michaela Timpson are locks for protection, while Natasha Howard enjoys exemption due to being cored twice previously. Many analysts frame the final protection spot as a choice between Sophie and Ari McDonald. However, neither Portland nor Toronto would likely core either player, meaning both could potentially return even without protection. Nevertheless, retaining Cunningham remains essential regardless of protection status, while keeping Hall and McDonald would be ideal. McDonald essentially functions as Erica Wheeler 2.0, a serviceable backup that becomes less critical with Clark's health. It's unlikely, but Fever know more than we do if that's what they believe. Then 1, trade Kate Moller signed, 2, keep Harry. If that's the case, to go and do that. But honestly, we gotta talk about how great Sophie Cunningham has been. Like, what Sophie Cunningham did on Paige Backry's the other day was ridiculous. Like, Sophie did. She did foul the shit out of her a lot of time off the ball. But it got to the stage then where Paige was pulling a Caitlin off, where Paige was there arm-barring off. Not with the ball, but like off the ball. If concerns exist about Clark's injury proneness similar to this season's issues, then either trading Clark while her value remains high or maintaining depth becomes necessary. Cunningham's defensive performance has been exceptional, particularly her work against Paige Bueckers. Her physical off-ball defense frustrated Bueckers to the point where the opposing player resorted to arm-barring and shoving tactics similar to what Clark faces. This physical pressure disrupted Bueckers' rhythm throughout the second half, contrasting sharply with their first meeting when McDonald was guarding Bueckers and allowed easy backdoor cuts for 22 points. The defensive impact was quantifiable. Bueckers scored a difficult 22 points, but removing 5 questionable free throws from phantom calls leaves just 17 points. Adding the missed shots from those phantom fouls results in 17 points on 17 attempts, exactly the tough shooting performance desired when defending elite scorers. Defenders want opponents discussing their tough shot-making ability, as this indicates effective defensive pressure. Forcing difficult attempts equals quality defense, and Cunningham consistently achieves this standard. It's a 17 points, has a tough 17 points. A real tough 17 points. And if you count the 2 misses on the phantom fouls, it's 17 points and 17 shots. Which is absolutely what you want from Paige Bueckers. 17 points, 17 shots. And nothing easy. Not one easy bucket. And you want at the end of the game, everybody talking. If you're a defender, you want everybody talking about your matchups, tough shot-making ability, because that means you play good deep. Offensively, Cunningham has returned to near 40% three-point shooting this season. Her shot selection heavily favors perimeter attempts, averaging 1.7 two-pointers versus 3.7 three-pointers per game. While her volume decreased slightly from last season due to reduced minutes, her efficiency has improved significantly. Throughout her career, she maintains a 36.5% three-point percentage, but removing her first 2 developmental seasons reveals consistent near 40% shooting since establishing herself professionally. Her early career included a 23% three-point season and 30% rookie performance, but subsequent seasons show 37.8% and 39.3% marks, establishing her as a reliable perimeter threat. Recent game logs demonstrate steady improvement throughout the current season. Defensively, while she doesn't accumulate high steal numbers and can struggle against quick guards occasionally, she rarely bites on pump fakes and consistently forces contested shots. At 29 years old with good length, she offers versatility and willing passing. She's shooting half a shot less, but she's shooting 40% from 3. On her career, she is a 36.5% three-point shooter, and if you take out the first 2 seasons of her career, where she was playing a little bit, but like again, just as a young player. So if you take out the first 2 years of her career, and let's just go since her rookie deal, she's been shooting like near 40, and she's been near 40% shooter since the first 2 seasons of her career. Like, she has seasons where she shot 23% from 3, which is a recent 7 of 8 games scoring double figures included a 16-point, 10-rebound performance against Atlanta and crucial 13 points in their Commissioner Cup victory. Despite a slow start this season, she's finding her rhythm and shooting efficiently. Her true shooting percentage ranks among the league's best guards because nearly every attempt carries the 3-point bonus. When specializing in 3-point shooting at 40% accuracy, efficiency numbers naturally excel.